Hello peeps, Julia Jordan, your favorite real estate agent, coming to you with some first-time homebuyer information. Why do we get first-time homebuyers pre-approved right away? The first thing is, in real estate, when you purchase a property, you work together with several specialists. I am the one for the homes. I'm the negotiation expert. I love to communicate with the agents, finding out when we write an offer, how do we write an offer, what is the seller looking for, how to get the buyer under contract. Our market is still very competitive. We have low inventory. We also have less buyers. The market is about 40% slower than it was the year before and the last year. So the last 2 years have been very, very busy. It was very hard to get in first-time home buyers. Often the sellers did not even look at FHA offers, BA, so veterans offers, because they're a little bit more sharp on the requirements. So this is a very good market right now to help everybody with skinny pockets, how I call it, when people have very little savings or the credit score is a little bit on the edge. Or the value is very low, where we have a lot of competition. A lot of people want to buy homes that are very affordable these days. We also have a high request for everything just around $1 million. I see those properties moving very quickly too, because those people are not bothered by the interest rate. They are educated enough to know that they will refi later. So with first-time home buyers, why do we get them pre-approved right away? First of all, those are often very unexperienced buyers. There are a lot of questions, and the different parties need to answer all of those questions. I will answer everything regarding how we write an offer. Why do we do it this way, not that way? And then the lender takes over all the different first-time homebuyer programs. There are, I do not know how many dozens out there. So the lender's job is to constantly stay on top of that. I have a rough idea when you talk to me and you come in as a first-time homebuyer. I usually have a very good idea where this will end up, finding out your savings situation, finding out your credit score situation. And if we have some like dead bodies in the basement, like you had a bankruptcy, that's a big red flag. You are behind on your credit card payments, that's a big red flag. And then I send you to those partners that will help you clean all of that up to put you in the best starting position. Naturally, the sooner we start the process, the more time we have to clean up, yeah? When you were a child and your mom told you, I want you to have your room cleaned up by 6 o'clock or there will be no dinner for you. What time did you start cleaning up? It was 3 p.m. Did you start right away at 3 p.m. or 5:30? If you were a good kid, you started cleaning and you still got in trouble because you were not fully finished at 6 o'clock. We are adults, okay? We don't want to do that. We want to do all our hard work at the get-go. We want to do answer all our questions at the get-go. If we have any dead bodies in the basement, we want to start cleaning up that right away, because naturally, the more time you have, the more prepared you are when we actually find your property. Also, it can happen, you call me today, and this is not the first time that this happened. You call me today and you tell me, oh yeah, in January, kind of, I want to be ready to purchase my home. So we get you ready, we get you with the lender, pre-approved, surprise, surprise, everything is good, you're good to go. We know the amount that you're pre-approved for. You and me talk about after that, you're approved for $350. It would bring your payment at taxes and everything included, let's say $3,500. You think that is too much. You can buy it, but you don't want to spend so much. So you and me agree on an amount that you feel comfortable with. Yeah, maybe we want to keep it around $300 if we can help it. But we are open. We are open in case you find something tremendously, amazingly exciting. We are able to write an offer. You already, in the meantime, came across some questions. You talked to me. You talked to the lender. Some things popped up that you were curious about, that you've never heard about. When we write an offer, how does the process go? When is my offer accepted? When am I basically locked in? Can I continue shopping? All those questions we're talking about ahead of time. So then when the moment comes and you say, I like 123 Main Street, the only thing we need to do is schedule, walk the property, and in the meantime, those 24 hours usually till we see the property in person, we get pre-approved. We wait to get pre-approved for the showing. In the meantime, I do all my due diligence. I look, how old is the roof? Did the AC get maintenance? Sorry, my English. Overall, are there any warranties? Did the foundation get ever repaired or lifted? Do we have a transferable warranty? All those things that are super important for you as the buyer. If you give me the time, I mean, if I have to be out there in 30 minutes and we get approved, I'm out there with you usually, but that leaves me no room to prepare. Also to discuss offer strategy with you as the buyer. Not everything gets just the same procedure. It's very different if a property is on the market first day or 4 days or 40 days. Yeah, of course, it's a different offer strategy. Then also, I need some time usually to reach out to the listing agent, and I just want to sense out, where are you? Are you rotten spoiled? You have 10 offers on the table and they're all in cash and they're all 20K over asking. Officially, they cannot share that information with me. Unofficially, what I tell you is real life as a real estate agent, we throw each other nuggets to help for our seller to get the price where it needs to be, and also to encourage other agents to submit offers. Yeah, I personally do not care for agents that keep it completely silent. I want them to be encouraging and help a little bit. How can I write a competitive offer? Yeah, some agents do not share anything, and I honestly do not believe it is in the best interest for the seller. I always get agreement of my sellers that I can throw some nuggets, how I call it. So when they ask me, will offer XYZ be competitive, I let them write it up first so we have something on the table. But then I ask, XYZ, how about you improve a little bit here and there to make it competitive? So as the buyer's agent, I do the very same thing. I reach out and ask for those nuggets. I give full disclosure. I know you cannot share numbers with me that would not be okay with our regulations, but you can help me a little bit, like, will this be competitive, or how do we help get both parties together basically and make it a win-win? That's another thing in real estate. If we don't make it a win-win for both sides, we will not be successful. I recently had a first-time home buyer, and I was asked to just present, we call it a love letter, to present. She's such a nice person. She believes in God. Watch out. We are stepping over our boundaries because we should not get into races. We should not get into religions, because this can actually be not beneficiary, right? She thinks she is of a certain belief and that would be her best foot to step forward. We don't know. Maybe the seller is of a very different religion and has a real issue with that. It would put her at a disadvantage. So we want to leave out family status. We want to leave out genders. We want to leave out everything what is basically a protected group, disabilities, all of that, to not put our client at a disadvantage or to in any way harm the future transaction that we hope to get under contract. Yeah, so our clients do not know all of that, so it is very good to start the conversation early. And there are many people I start 3 months, 6 months, 12 months ahead of time, and we get them warmed up. I will not be pushy if I have to be. If you tell me, hey, tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock I want to see the property, and I found out there is a deadline on the property, guess what? We are all scrambling. Now we all gotta rush it. Yeah, do I like to rush it? Yeah, it gets my adrenaline up. I will do it. But is it better to have all our ducks in a row early on? Yes, and that's what I prefer, honestly. So also that when we are interested in a property and we write an offer, you and I already know about offer strategy. We are already on the same page. Yeah, so we are not entering a property. I have to get you up to speed in a rush. I hope you retain all that information. You are stressed out. I hope what I explained to you actually settles in and you make a good decision, because the last thing we want is rushing into and then terminating because you changed your mind. Yes, you only lose $300 option that buys you the unrestricted right to terminate, but it is not fair to what the seller. I personally feel it is unethical to take a house off the market and then do our due diligence of thinking, do we actually want to buy, yes or no? Yeah. And I had it last year. We literally took 3 properties off the market for my client and he kept on changing his mind. At the 3rd time I said, if we do this again, I cannot represent you anymore, because I do believe this is like starts to be a game and not we're really actually interested in buying a home. So we want to make it a win-win for both sides. So just saying I'm a very nice buyer, guess what? Every other buyer is also nice. Bringing in religion, not a good idea. Bringing in family status, I'm a single and I'm just starting my home owning career, building up equity. I would not mention it. Can be this or that way. Maybe some people prefer to support a young family or whatever. So there are a lot of strategies that we should talk about ahead of time, because my job is not simply to just open the door, do you like it, yes or no, and then write up the offer. And we get a lot of offers. Basically, the agent is writing up the offer for the client, and the client doesn't even really know what they're offering. So I do not like to operate that way. I prefer that you shoot me all your questions that you have, because every client has also, first of all, different personality type, right? But also every client has a different criteria, what they need, certain things that we need to talk about. Sometimes I need to remind them. I had people with a certain religion, and the sink and the range cannot be on opposite side of the kitchen. And they said, we like the house. And I'm like, what about the range and the sink situation? And they were like, oh, thank you. We can skip that house because we will not buy a house like that, you know, or other criteria, location. If we don't want to be north of 99, we don't need to look at houses north of 99. Do they flood there? Do they not flood there? Doesn't even matter, because you don't want to live north of 99. Let's not get sidetracked if you don't want to be there. I personally believe north of 99 is an excellent area to live, like many other areas, but this depends on your needs. Yeah. So when you are a first-time home buyer, or you are planning on being a home buyer the next 1, 2, 3 years, or shorter, of course, talk to me right now. Let's answer all your questions. Let's hook you up with a lender to just give a quick screen. Do we have any dead bodies in the basement? This will not harm your credit score for when you purchase. Actually, it does the opposite. If you get your credit checked right now, it usually bounces back to where you were before in about 8 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, depending on which date we are at. And then basically the credit score institutions find out, oh, someone was asking for money, but they never took out the money, so your score bounces back. So at that point, you are pre-approved and your score is at all-time high. And then you already talk to the lender, and the lender is like, oh, if you do XYZ, your score will go here and there, because they have simulators. So don't you want to start the conversation early on and not scramble around and then say, I feel so overwhelmed, I feel rushed through the process? Well, I prefer to not rush you through the process, but to do my due diligence, I have to get certain points across. I need to have certain documents signed, and I need to educate you in certain areas simply to keep you safe. So if we don't rush that, amazing. If you're not quite ready, good as well. I just got my kids new shoes for winter and my electricity bill is paid. That was a bad one. July bill. So no worries that I will push you into something where you're not ready for. If you ask me, should I buy right now or should I wait for interest rate to fall? My very simple answer is, if you can, buy right now, lock in the home at an average price right now. Right now we're at a good price point. What happens if interest rates fall? Property value goes up. I will tell you, we have multiple offer situation. You need to overbid all the other offers. I'm sorry, got a message. You need to go over all the offers. So when interest rate is low, demand is rising naturally, right? So at that point, as your agent, I will tell you, your offer is not competitive. I called the agents. They already have 20 offers on the table. The agent shared with me how to win the multiple offer. This is what you got to do. Otherwise, you most likely will not get the property. So what I recommend you is buy the house at a good price point, and then make your peace with refinancing in a year or two. We are expecting interest rate to come down. No one knows exactly when that happens. I don't have the crystal ball. And then when demand is high and interest rate is low, then you get your interest rate from up here down to here, and you simply refi. This, let's say a refi is 5K, but you don't have to go 40, 60, 80K over asking. In which scenario did you save money? You can always change your interest rate. You will never be able to change the price that you went under contract for, that you signed up with the lender at title company and you bought the house for. That is the number we cannot change afterwards anymore. Whenever interest rates fall and you already are in the dream house, guess what? You can refi. I work with several lenders. They usually all offer a free refi for the first 2 or 3 years. So if interest rates fall down, you raise your hand, they get you through the refi process. A lot of them do a free refi. They do not charge you. You only pay title policy, and then you're good to go. This is the most simple rundown on all of that. There is much more to say to everything. If you have any real estate questions, I would love to answer all your questions. If you have any peeps that have real estate questions, send them my way. I will treat them like royalty. Referrals are the #1 source of my business. 80% of my business comes from referrals, peeps like you that watch it and have a friend that needs a top agent. #1 agent 6 months in a row in Keller Williams The Woodlands. We are the leader in the industry, and I would be honored to help you. My number is 832-444-4923. I'm checking out for now. Have a good day, guys. Bye.